Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Facebook Live. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Shay, one of the naturopaths here at the Lucy Rose Clinic. If you're a regular, as always, welcome back. So, today's topic, what is it? Alright, so beyond bad hair days, the real truth about hormones and your thinning locks. Alright, so who is this for? Well, this is a topic that affects many women, often in silence, and that's hair thinning. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered where your once thick, healthy hair seems to have gone, why you're shedding more than usual or not growing it like it used to? You're absolutely not alone. And it's not just vanity. Your hair is often a reflection of your inner health, especially your hormone health. So today we're going to go beyond bad hair days and get into the real truth about hormones and hair loss. All right, so why hair thinning happens. We'll start with the basics. So hair growth follows a cycle, the growth, transition, and rest or shedding phase. All right, so Hannigan, Cadigan, and Taligan. And some of the most common hormone-related causes that can disrupt that cycle. And what happens when the cycle is disrupted is that more hair gets pushed into the shedding phase. So there are times where you will literally lose more hair and feel like you're not growing it back at the same rate. So the first one's thyroid dysfunction. So both hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's thyroiditis are linked to hair loss, especially around the scalp and eyebrows. You'll notice usually up through here, and in the outer third of the eyebrows. Maybe I need to look at this. I feel like I had more hair there last month. Low T3 levels in particular are shown to slow hair growth cycle. Remember, T3 is our activated thyroid hormone. And when we don't have enough of it, everything slows down. Estrogen and progesterone changes are these. As we approach perimenopause or menopause, estrogen and progesterone levels drop. Okay, we're moving, we're transitioning, we're evolving. Remember, we're evolving. But both of these hormones help keep hair in its growing phase. So you might also notice your part, like your natural part, widening or shedding more after stopping the pill or post having a baby. Androgen excess is another one. So some women experience androgenic alopecia, so female pattern hair loss, especially with the presence of PCOS, insulin resistance, or something called post-menopause androgen dominance. More big words this week, that's okay. And DHT, dihydrotestosterone, a more potent form of testosterone, can shrink hair follicles. So, you know, with our sex hormones, a lot of focus, especially as women, is placed on their value in terms of our fertility. But the balance of sex hormones has a huge part in our overall well-being. So, what are the other key triggers to know? So, while hormones are big players, they're not the only ones, right? Let's talk about a few common but often overlooked factors. The first one is nutrient deficiencies. So, iron, especially ferritin stores, so our stored iron, zinc, vitamin D, and you know, in Australia we're all chronically low in vitamin D, who would have thought? Biotin, one of our B-vits, and B12 and protein are all essential for healthy hair growth. Those that are regulars know I will try and slip protein in every week because we must have protein at every meal. We don't eat enough protein, especially women 35 to 55. Toast is not a good breakfast. Right, moving on. So having ferritin of below 70 micrograms a litre, so having low ferritin essentially, is really strongly linked to hair loss, even if your iron looks normal. Tricky, those hormones, very tricky. Stress and cortisol. So high or prolonged stress raises cortisol, which interferes with thyroid hormones, which disrupts hair growth. And it can also push follicles into the shedding phase too early, right? It seems so unreasonable, but there we are. The hormones don't lie. Blood sugar imbalance. High insulin and leptin resistance can worsen androgen-related hair thinning. So balanced blood sugars support hormones and reduce inflammation, which is crucial for healthy follicles. How do we balance blood sugar, you ask? We have protein at every meal. And we make sure we get our carbohydrates from good sources. Right, because we do need carbohydrates. Right, so what can you do to support your hair and your hormones? All right, nutrition. Aim for protein with every meal. See, I told you. Prioritize iron-rich foods. Grass-fed meats, if you're a meat eater. Lentils, pumpkin seeds. Include zinc. Oysters and sunflower seeds are a great source. Vitamin D, magnesium, and your omega-3s. Good quality omega-3s. You should always check with your practitioner or a practitioner. Don't just buy things off social media. But commonly supported nutrients include, you can get iron that specifically helps boost ferritin, zinc plus biotin, vitamin D at specific dosages, and iodine and selenium for thyroid support. So, you know, we do that at the Lucy Rose Clinic. Most people that come to us have quite severe iodine deficiency. And there's all sorts of herbs that are great as well. I really like nettle root and nettle seed as a tea, very rich in minerals, and support the liver and the kidneys, which is essential for hormone clearance. And nettle seeds are used as a dietary top-up very frequently in Western herbal medicine to support the adrenals as well. Why, you ask? Well, the adrenals sit on top of the kidneys like little hats. So to support the adrenals, you also want to support the kidneys and vice versa, because they're literally like attached to each other. Right? No part of the body works in isolation. And there's lots of other herbal support that we can advise and provide that helps to regulate or modulate these sex hormones, get those ratios back into a healthier range. With lifestyle, you want to practice stress-reducing activities, mindful breathing, lots of walking, bits of yoga. Remember, we're prioritizing the habit, not the activity. Getting sunlight daily if you can, if that's, attainable. Prioritizing sleep. Okay, go to bed early. You need at least 8 hours. And reducing inflammatory foods, particularly processed sugar. So, it never hurts to read the labels of things you eat or consume regularly and just check how much hidden sugar that you're having. Gluten's always a big one too. Okay, we know that as a general rule, people do tend to thrive on gluten-free diets. And that's especially true if there's an existing autoimmune condition or some hormone-related concerns. All right, so I want you to know if your hair is thinning, you're not doing anything wrong. Right? It's your body asking for deeper support, basically. It's a sign. So hair is often, like weight, the last thing to improve, but it's also a great indicator that things are shifting underneath. So focusing on your whole body health, your hormones, your stress, your nutrients, and your hair will follow. It will grow. And it's okay to grieve the change and get frustrated with the process. Change is uncomfortable. It's good to identify this and still take empowered action at times. All right. So if this resonated with you and you would like more support, we would love to connect with you in clinic. We can do a deeper dive into your hormones, your thyroid, your nutrient status, and get you on a personalized plan. So, let us know too, what have your experiences been in hair loss? What's worked for you? What has you concerned? We share these things in our community. That information may help someone else who's at a different place in their health journey. Sharing's important. Learning's important. So if you would like to learn more and you're new to us here, do feel free, scan the QR code. There's a link on the website. Drop a link in the comments. We can help you out with a complimentary appointment to see, to learn more and see what would be right for you for your next steps. So thank you for joining me today. As always, fitting me into your busy schedules, whether you're live here or watching the recording. Until next week, Take care of yourself, take care of your follicles. As ever, be kind to yourself. You're doing better than you think. See you next